Using only a pile of wood, you built a temple on a 60-meter high cliff that has stood for 1,000 years without falling. How was this done at first? You only wanted a small temple deep in the mountains to pray for you and your brother to gain promotion and wealth. But during the rainy season, the river would rise, and the small temple was washed away year after year. Then you cleverly realized that water flows downward, so if you built the temple higher up, wouldn't it be safe just then? You looked up and saw a natural rock ledge protruding 60 meters above the ground, perfect for building a house. But when construction actually began, you discovered the ledge was too small for even one room, and above it were loose rocks that could fall at the slightest touch. You did not give up since the natural ledge would not work. You decided to make one yourself. You found a relatively flat cliff face and chiseled a row of straight holes into it, each 2 to 3 meters deep, then drove thick wooden beams firmly into the holes and laid planks across them. A suspended platform was completed, but soon after it was built, the platform began to tilt and collapse. This was because mountain vibrations and people walking prevented the beams from anchoring firmly in the rock. Over time, exposure to wind and rain made the beams absorb moisture and rot, eventually breaking. So to build a more stable platform, you first got the hardest local ironwood. You soaked the beams in tung oil for 60 days, then took them out to dry. After this treatment, the beams became waterproof, decay resistant and tougher. Once the beams were ready, you reworked the holes you had chiseled earlier, enlarging the inner part wider inside and narrower outside. Then came the key step. You carved a notch at one end of each treated beam and inserted a specially made wooden wedge. Finally, you hammered them into the holes. When the wedge reached the deepest part, it forced the beam to expand like an expansion bolt, locking it tightly into the cliff wall so it could never be pulled out. You vividly named it Joy Ho Sun. After laying planks across the horizontal beams again, you obtained an extremely sturdy suspended platform. In this way, your small temple could stand steadily, no longer afraid of being washed away. Later, you felt the small temple was too simple, so using the same method, you added 2 more levels upward. With ingenious mortise and tenon joints, you drove piles, erected columns, set beams and laid boards, allowing magnificent halls to rise from the cliff. Although the structure was already strong enough, you still felt it did not look safe. So you had another idea, adding 27 supporting columns beneath the beams, letting them lightly touch the ground. This reassured onlookers and helped share some of the pressure during earthquakes, making the building even more stable. In addition to keep out rain and slow decay of the beams, you regularly brushed them with tung oil. In this way, without using a single iron nail, you made this temple hang on the cliff for 1,500 years. Congratulations! You invented the Hanging Temple of Datong Shingsi. It is not only a temple, but also an eternal carving of ancient wisdom and courage.